Welcome back to Black Cat Folk Magic. All kind of people are welcome here. Hi, friends. So we're already almost in March, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it being warmer where I am. I hope the same is true for you. Spending more time in my garden, you know, getting outside, getting to look at some wildlife and some nature trails and that kind of thing. In short, I'm really ready for this whole frozen in for the winter thing to be over. I don't venture out much in the winter. So I'm ready to move on to this springtime, and I know things look really dark right now in the world, but there's something that I can't quite describe that's in the base of me that feels like with this spring we're gonna find some hope in the world. So that's all we've got anyway, right? So let's hope it's true. Okay, today, as always, I have 3 groups for you to choose from. Group 1 is the cardinal. Group 2 is the hummingbird, and group 3 is the goldfinch. Now, these beautiful oracle cards are designed and published by my friend Pamona Sparrow. I will leave a link down in the description for these cards if you would like to buy some. I highly recommend it. They're quite beautiful. She's a local artist to East Tennessee, and she's just an all-around great person. So if you would like to support a small business, she's one of the ones to support, believe me. All right. Okay, when you make your choice of your card, you'll find the time stamp down in the description as always. See you in your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the cardinal. One of my favorites. Okay, let's start with some oracle cards. What's coming in for Group 1 in March, in the month of March? Let's see. Oh, this is not your oracle cards. This is your tarot cards. So we'll start with those, I guess. You have the Fool, which is great. That's a great card to have for the spring. New starts, you know, leaps of faith. We have the Star. Wow. Okay. We have the Hermit. Am I doing my own reading here? Oops, I dropped a card. Hold on just a second, please. Okay, you have 9 of Swords. And you have 2 of Swords. Okay. Let's get some oracles here. Oh, I just heard, don't worry, it'll happen. So maybe some of you are afraid that some wish that you've had for a really long time is never going to happen because it's taken so long for it to happen. And I just heard, don't worry, it'll happen. So have faith. Have faith, friend. We have the Vulture and the Asphodel with Upheaval. That's sort of equivalent to the Tower card. Oh, usually I take one, but it wants me to take more. Okay. The Turtle and Coriander with Satisfaction. So there are changes, but in your favor. Let's get one more. Ceremony. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm getting for this reading. You may be feeling kind of disappointed because you were afraid to start something or go for something, and you thought, no risk, no reward, and you went after it, and you worked for it, and you wished for it, and you worked for it, and you wished for it, and you meditated, and you did all the things that you were supposed to do, right? And you're still waiting. And you're really afraid that it's not coming. And I could see why. But, look, she's been all night worrying. And this red bird, which, by the way, reminds me of your cardinal, is looking at the sunrise and saying, see, another day's coming. Another day's coming, I promise. Please don't be in despair. Okay? And you're kind of like, at this point, I don't know. Maybe I should have faith. Maybe not. Maybe I should just give up. Maybe not. I don't know what to do. I feel like a lot of you are just in that energy right now. And so you're spending your days with less intention and more just spitballing and seeing what happens. And that's because in a lot of ways you've lost your faith. But a change is approaching that will bring you something that works in your favor. It'll bring this thing. And Spirit is saying, please still have faith. Please. Please know it's just a process. That it's hard to build anything of quality very quickly. That's not really how it works, Let's get some more cards for you. King of Swords. Death. King of Wands. Okay. This seems very, very specific, actually. So if it doesn't resonate with you, just please choose another group. But this is very specific for somebody. So, I think this deals with your faith in a particular person. Perhaps you wanted to start a relationship with someone and they came off as cold and didn't really respond, and you're like thinking, great, so I went out on a limb, no risk, no reward. I asked this person if they wanted to be in a relationship with me, and not only did they say no or that they weren't interested, but they weren't even flattered or they weren't even they just were cold in the reception of the knowledge that you thought of them in that way. Okay? And so you were doubly hurt because it hurts to be rejected, right? And then you were hurt because you took a huge leap of faith and it didn't go your way. And that hurts too. That hurts our egos, doesn't it? But I'm seeing... Okay. Let me be clear here. Always use your own brain and your own heart to judge a situation. Okay? Don't give your power away to tarot. Also, if you're feeling led on, if you're feeling like this person is playing around with you, please don't hang on to this person. However, there's a very small percentage of you where this is saying, you understand that the coldness that this person showed you was not personal. It had nothing to do with you. It just had to do with their mindset at the time. Okay? And in that case, this person has been doing some work, or a tower moment's going to happen that's going to turn that's going to change their mind about the way they see this offer from you, and about the way they see you and how you fit into their life, and what you really mean to them. There's going to be a change here, and they're going to be a lot more enthusiastic about their connection to you. Okay? Oops. The wrong deck again, but that's okay, because we got the boar and the pumpkin, and it says confidence. It's time, it's time to be confident in who you are. Don't really worry about what this other person is doing. Just rest assured that if it's meant to be, it'll be. What is meant for you will not pass you by, ever. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about what if. What is meant for you will not pass you by. So, but sometimes it feels nice to have a little reassurance, right? That this wasn't personal. That they didn't find you repulsive. It's just where they were in their lives, in the course of their lives, and how they felt about themselves and felt about what they could bring to relationships. And so they weren't rejecting you. They were rejecting something that was going to make them look their fears in the face. Okay? And I just want to say, I'm really proud of you for taking this leap of faith. I'm really proud of you for going out on a limb and saying, you know what? No risk, no reward. And approaching this person about being in a relationship. I know that it didn't work out for you the way you thought, but it certainly worked out with you, and that you proved to yourself that you can take care of yourself. You can go after the things you want, and you're going to be okay, right? So no matter what, you've done a great job. But this is saying, this boar and this pumpkin is saying, have confidence. Listen, and just focus on that for right now. Focus on your confidence, on your self-worth, on your value. Understand your value. Just because someone else doesn't value you doesn't make you unworthy. That's all them. That's not you. And why would you want to be with somebody who's not in the same alignment with their value as you are, right? Someone who's afraid to look at their fears. Clearly you're not, because you took this leap of faith, right? So why would you want to be with someone who hasn't done that work for themselves? So start, instead of focusing on what they're doing right now, focus on what you can do to continue to support that part of yourself that is making these leaps of faith for you. Just saying, gosh, group one, I love you so much. This is what you deserve, and let's go after it. Never settle. Never settle, ever. Get you some outcome cards. Page of Wands. Four of Swords. Ten of Cups. So, I think some of you are going to be surprised in the way it goes, that once you start reframing this and focusing on yourself and what you deserve and your needs, instead of this other person that's clearly just going through their own growth process. Once you really start to follow the trail of that self-discovery, I don't think you're going to worry about this person anymore. I don't think you're even going to think about them much. But whether they come back into your life or not, you're going to reach this Ten of Cups, because it's not dependent. And Ten of Cups is ultimate emotional fulfillment, because it doesn't matter anymore what they're doing. your fulfillment does not depend on another person. That's what you're going to find out during this discovery. That's Howie, my cat. Hi, honey. I'm doing a reading for our friends. I know. Unfortunately, June lost his big sister cat. Howie lost his big sister cat, June, recently. And he has been very clingy to me and doesn't like for me to pay attention to anything else. And that's okay. So, as I was saying, I don't think that you're gonna even care if this person comes back or not, because you're gonna be so happy in your self-love, in valuing yourself. But that's exactly when you want someone to come in, right? So either they've done the work and they come back in, or someone who's worthy of you comes in. Okay? So, they're saying, please don't question your self-worth. Please strive to understand it. And understand that your happiness does not depend on this other person. And if they come in and they align with your values, wonderful. If not, let it go, because you've got it all under control. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Hi, Group 2. You chose the hummingbird. Okay, let's get into your reading. We'll get you some oracle cards. What's coming for Group 2 in March? We have Fern. I'm being told to get another one of these. And we have Womb. YouTube rules. Doesn't matter what I think. Okay, we have the eel and the iris with safety. One more? Okay. And we have the crow and dogwood with intelligence. Just heard something about hoarding. I don't know what it, that's not going to apply to everybody, but it's something that I heard. Okay, we have strength. We have 3 of swords. I had a vision of just now of somebody clearing out their parents' house. Maybe their parents have moved on or passed away, and they're clearing out this old house that they grew up in, and so there's some cutting of strings and old memories and that kind of thing going on. The Lovers, the Hermit, Ten of Wands. Okay. Yeah, this has a couple of layers because this is a reading for the collective, and so it's going to mean something different for most people. But the general idea of what I'm getting here is that you're going through a process of decluttering, either physically or emotionally or mentally, sort of the old stock in your in your emotional relationships, right? So maybe you're really getting deep into therapy right now and you're sorting out things that happened in your childhood, or like I said before, your parents have passed on and you're cleaning out their house and coming across all these things that remind you of your childhood. Maybe you're getting a divorce and moving, and so going through all that stuff is bringing up parts of you that you've forgotten. I remember that happened to me. I lived with somebody for a long time, and when we split up, I stayed in the house and someone else moved in. A roommate moved in to pay the rent, half of the rent, and so it was still a couple of years out before I moved after this relationship was over. But when I did, I found all kinds of, things from before I knew this person, right? Before I knew this person I had broken up with, and things of when we were together, or when we were friends before we were together, what our relationship was like before it ever became romantic, and then, what it was like when we were together, and things that I missed when our relationship was falling apart. And it was really the thing I needed to sort all that out, to really flush it out of my system and let go. And ultimately, in this case, I decided that, our splitting up was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I needed to grow. That person needed to grow too, but in a completely different way. And I needed to grow in a completely different way. And it was just not something that could have been done together. And so it's so much easier to let go of something when you understand that, right? Than to have it all be about your ego. And so I'm seeing in here something like that. Some sorting out of old hurts, old wounds. Okay, of somebody that you had a close relationship with. But I think you're going to find a new perspective on it. And that's going to be invaluable to you. Okay? And it's going to usher in a whole new season of growth for you. And it's going to usher in a whole new life path. Because you've been weighed down for so long by these old burdens, by these old wounds. And it's time to fix them up, It's just time. And even if you don't think about it every day, it's still playing at the back of your mind. It's still draining your energy. You just may not realize it. So this is a way to reclaim that energy and get back to remembering who you were before this relationship, who you were at different stages of the relationship, maybe getting new perspective on how the relationship changed you, and getting perspective on why it ended and why it's better left in the past, right? Some of you, like I said, when it comes to your parents, you're going to come across old things, and old hurts from your parents are going to come up. And that happens. And I think you're going to find something in there that makes you understand that your parents are just humans, and they were kids, and they had children, and they only knew what they knew, right? I'm not saying to give them a free pass on any awful things or anything like that. I'm just saying, for you, for your benefit, holding on to that narrative is not going to help you at all. Letting go of it will help you a lot. It'll restore so much of your psychic energy, so much of your emotional energy, and actually a lot of your physical energy. When those programs are running in the back of our heads, it's just eating up our resources, okay? And so, now's really a good time to start sorting through this, so you can find a better understanding of things, and so you can be more at peace with your past, okay? You know, one of the things that I've learned about my parents is they were literally children when they had me. They were very young. And they were 17 and 20. And they never really got a chance to grow emotionally beyond that point, right? And the freedom that those of us without children were able to emotionally grow in those years, right? I don't think that anybody sets out wanting to be a bad parent or just not caring. I think it has a lot to do with feeling overwhelmed. I think it has a lot to do with, you know, they're carrying around things that their parents didn't do that great, you know? So, what I'm trying to say is whatever situation you're digging through, that you went through in the past, try to have compassion for yourself and even for the people who hurt you. Because really that's the only way to find peace. That doesn't mean you need to let anybody back into your life if you don't want to or anything like that. But just forgive them so you can move on. You're cleaning this out for a reason. You need to make space for something new coming in. Yeah. Something that you really, really want is coming in, but only after you make room for it. Okay? Because it's like, I don't want to move into a cluttered apartment, right? Or, you know, I don't want to move into your messy life. Sort yourself out, and then I'll come in. Whatever thing is you're hoping for. All right, I hope you enjoyed that reading. I hope it resonated, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Hi, Group 3. So you chose the Goldfinch. Such a cute card. I have goldfinches that live at my house, and I have a pollinator garden that I grow every year. And in that pollinator garden are black-eyed Susans and what are those other flowers called? I don't remember. But anyway, I leave the seed pods for them all winter. I don't cut them down. And they are so grateful when they come by and eat from those seed pods, especially when there's snow on the ground. And so the only, everything else is covered up that they can eat, but those seed pods are sticking out of the ground. They really appreciate that. So this is making me think of something like that already. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get some oracle cards for you. The Goat and Willow, Overcoming Obstacles. Another one. Okay. The Turtle and Coriander, Satisfaction. And the last group got that card as well. Accept your gifts. Soul loss. Okay, let's get your tarot. We have Judgment. We have Four of Cups. We have Page of Pentacles. We have the World. We have Eight of Cups. Okay. immediately I heard, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I kicked the tripod. Immediately I heard, don't you know they've always been there for you? You're going to have some sort of awakening here that someone has always really supported you and cared for you, and you kind of missed it. You kind of overlooked it, and you you didn't appreciate it as much as you probably should have. And the thing is, you felt alone and distant from everybody, and this person kept trying to love you, and you just couldn't see it. I think it has a lot to do with your self-esteem. What's this card? Overcoming obstacles. And I think it came from, you just don't like to ask for help. I think you don't like to accept help. And because this person was so supportive, it made you uncomfortable because you weren't used to that kind of energy, which is sad because that's the kind of energy you should be looking for in other people. Okay? I know people who are used to chaos. When they finally get in a relationship that's not toxic, they find it a little boring. And I think that's what you were seeing here. Maybe you were thinking, I just don't feel a spark, or I just don't, I get this rush of excitement when I'm with somebody I'm supposed to be with. Maybe. And maybe that's your trauma talking, okay? Because you're so used to chaos. You're so used to relationships. You're familiar with relationships that cause your cortisol levels to rise, that cause you to be stressed out. And in order to survive, you mistake that feeling for love, for being excited, for feeling that rush. That's not sustainable, and that's never going to lead to the kind of relationship I believe you're looking for. Okay? Let me get some more cards. Three of Wands. Knight of Swords. Seven of Swords. Justice. I want one more. I don't know why, but I was told to take one more. That's why. Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, so I hear Spirit asking you, would you be willing to consider that the relationship you're looking for, that the love that you're looking for is going to feel steady and safe and measured? Because that's what it's supposed to feel like. There's this rush of this passion and arguments and, that kind of thing. They do something to our brains. It's like, oh, this is different. This is interesting. But it's not love. It's drama. It's excitement, but it's not love. And you're missing out on something. You are very much missing out on something that you're dismissing outright or just not seeing because it doesn't make you feel that toxic rush. Okay? And Spirit wants you to consider that, having a lack of jealousy in your relationships, having an abundance of trust in your relationships, having a slow pace in your relationships, having compromise and talking it out instead of arguing passionately. Spirit wants you to consider that that's what healthy relationships are made of. And Spirit also wants you to consider, where did you get this idea that that's how relationships are supposed to feel? Hurried and passionate and rushed and full of conflict and full of drama. Did you get it from TV? Did you get it from, maybe your parents fought a lot or that kind of thing? They want you to consider what that means. And I think a good way to do that is for you to not date for a while. There are a lot of ways to interpret these cards, this particular set of cards, so I'm mostly leaning on the message I'm hearing right now, because it seems very loud and that it wants to be shared. This is a message that wants to be shared with the person who needs to hear this. I think it's very important. I think it's time to mature in your expectations of what relationships are supposed to be. And understand that it's supposed to be, and we're going from, the example of a monogamous relationship, two consenting adults, that kind of thing. Nothing against poly relationships. That's just not what the message is right now. If you are poly, there's probably a message in here for you. You just have to adapt it to your experience. All right. Someone in particular is getting the message that you really need to not get in relationships where anybody would ever want to check your phone or your messages. Just not interested in that. People aren't supposed to do that. That's not healthy. It's not healthy to be jealous. It's not healthy. Why would you want to be in a relationship? You cannot be in a productive relationship with someone that you don't trust, that raises suspicion, that you're jealous when they talk about someone, or don't do that. That's high school stuff. And so Spirit is asking you to raise your standards about what you'll accept in a relationship. It's two consenting adults who trust each other enough that they say, hey, I trust you enough and we get along and I think you're great and I think you're a wonderful human and I think it's a good idea to build a life with you. And so you can have that support. And that's what a relationship is like when it's healthy. Let's just say that. This is not the direction I expected this reading to go in. I just was led here. So if it resonates, it resonates. But I think it's time to take some time and work on yourself, work on maybe any codependency issues that might arise. Don't worry about that. Don't feel bad about that. So many people are raised to be codependent. So many people are codependent because our entire society, songs, movies, television shows, everything leads us to believe that we're all supposed to be tied down to somebody. And if we're not, that's bad. And love is supposed to hurt. It's supposed to be a big back and forth thing. And you finally find your way and it's so romantic. Nope, 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 nope. That's just to, move along the storyline of a movie. We're supposed to believe our worth depends on what other people think of us. Whether it be our employer, our friends, the HOA, whatever, and our partner. And that's not true either. If this person embarrasses you, they're not the one for you. If this person keeps you in tears or stressed out, that's not the person for you. So Spirit really wants you to take time and find yourself first and work on your codependence. That's not an accusation. Please don't feel attacked. This is just loving advice from Spirit. And then when you're ready for a healthy relationship, it'll appear. What a strange reading. Okay, well, I hope that resonated, and I hope you enjoyed it. And take care.